So here we are, day 2 of our teenage engineering build, and now we're going to have a go at the 400. It's the big yellow one. It's the big slanty yellow one that comes in this enormous box that looks like it would hang on the shelf of something. But is it just a toy or is it something fabulous? Well, I've got my crew here of well-trained monkeys to see if we can find out. So let's get to it.
Can I open it?
Open it.
You open it! Oh! So here it is. 400. I got it to the page. Can you get? Why is everything made in China?
They make good stuff.
Nancy, don't open things. I'm opening this blue in the bowl.
Good idea.
And we get another booklet. Oh, this one seems longer.
It is. It's a lot more folding required.
Yeah, this one's definitely longer. Well, at the end, look, this is handy. They do different things of where to put them.
Yeah, they do. Very handy. There's also some of those for the 170 that we didn't discover last time.
Whoa, this is a different colour than I thought. I thought it would be orange.
Really? Doesn't look like the colour on the box and all the instructions and stuff. Isn't that someone giving it away?
No, yeah, well, I thought it would be this colour. Like this colour.
Oh, a dark mustard.
Yeah, we're really light. Well, we need to do loads of bending first. We need bending.
Well, if it's all alright for you lovely, perfect children that you are, I'm going to be doing the bending.
Yeah, I know.
Alright. In the meantime, could you please get stuck into the modules? So same as before, take the module out, rescue the nuts and bolts that come with it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm going to open package and bowl one.
So we need to fold this fella as per diagram, making sure we get this bit here, which is pointing up the right way round. According to here, the manual, it says it should be pointing up. That's a good sign. You see, look, module assembly,
Okay.
one in each corner. You see that the standoff stands on the same size as the same side as the stuff. The screw comes in from the other side. Got it?
So the standoffs go here.
No,
they go there.
That's right.
Okay, but how do I know I've got the same one as that?
It's for all of them. They all fit in the same way on the back. These two bits need to be bent up. And as before, you've just got to kind of go for it.
So Nancy, I'm doing it. Good.
Alrighty. Here we go, Meccano time. Oh look, see these fold up into those slots. Nice. So I could probably fold those on the table to keep them nice and straight. Look at that. It's fantastic. And now we turn over. You can fold that flat. Pushing it out. Pushing it out. Good, good.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Number 5. Something about 90 degrees it says. 90 degrees. Okay. So this bends here.
You need to turn it at a right angle.
I do.
90 degrees is the right angle.
You are dead right. You are dead right. So this has to bend up. Now it has a 90 degrees on here that I can measure it against. Kinda. Now, so this is the beautiful manualing that they do, teenage engineering, where they give you tiny little things. One little tiny thing, one little tiny thing. Get to panel 6, whole load of things all at once. Going, oh, so this has to bend in, bend up, bend down, bend through, and bend round. Got it. And that bends up.
What?
These ones need to bend out. The smaller wings which are troublesome because it's hard, there's nothing I can push them against to keep them true.
Oh no.
You under the table, Arthur?
Something happened.
Alright, that's fairly square. I mean, it's not completely square, but it's you know, it's an approximation of squareness.
That looks crazy. That I don't know how that
Oh,
could be a
look.
synthesizer.
Now we're upside down. Over here, these flaps need to flap backwards. Just make sure they are all the way in. It's still not very square. Okay, getting there. That's better. That needs to bend back. That needs to bend back. Right, that's A. That there. Out of the way. Next up is B, which is this fella. Again, mark where the relief on that is, whether it's an innie or an outie. And it has, apparently, being an outie. And all you do is bend that bit out, bend this bit out. Outie, bend it out. Easy! Right, this fella, this one is the opposite. This has this bit pointing. Well, I know they say that.
What are you laughing about?
Oh, I don't know. Laughing at assumptions made by people who write instructions. Now, as far as I can tell on this is the other way around, because you've got this diagram here, which is saying that, which looks like it's indented as opposed to outdented, but then there's this arrow, which is as if to indicate, oh, it's pointing out. Because you get that arrow here, you see? That's pointing out because of the arrow. You go, okay, that makes sense. But then you're on here, and it's pointing in, and the arrow is still the same. Anyway, I'm going to go for I think it's pointing in.
This is a weird type of screw, Daddy. There's two screws stuck together.
Oh, we've got some spares though, haven't we? Now these hooks on the back, they bend over to 160 degrees. 160 degrees. Alright, so just bend that over a bit. Oh, genius, mate, well done.
Well, we've done most of that already.
That's excellent work, excellent work. Okay, do we have some different sorts of screws? Anywhere?
Different. What do they look like?
I need the screwy ones that would have come out of...
Oh, I know these ones. Those ones are the fatter ones.
The fatter ones, yeah. Can I have a look?
And see. The ones with the fatter ends. Doesn't in the last one, didn't this break?
Yes.
Can I do it?
Go on then.
Cool, this is harder than I thought. I don't wanna break the actual thing. Okay.
So this goes into there, I believe, with some of the fatter screws. Fatter screws.
Can I see the fat screws?
No.
Oh.
Okay, I'm having no luck getting any purchase on this at all.
Does that feel good?
It's not really the space to turn the screwdriver. This attaches onto here, fits nicely onto there,
Okay,
and presumably
don't put these on.
that also hooks over the top. That can't, I mean it could go behind.
I think that's what it does, because then these screw in here.
It doesn't hook over the top, you don't think?
No. Well, it looks a bit weird, but you can't really put it on properly when it's hooked over the top. You can't screw that through.
Yeah. So a little bit of discussion on the old manual here, because this sort of says, it almost looks like it hooks over the top, but then the screw here goes through this one first and then through this one and then through the back plate. And trying to hook this on here, it just doesn't look like it's going to go. And if you try and hook that on, how can you get the tabs through there? You cannot, I don't think. So in which case it has to go that way, because that fits really
and also
nicely.
It fits properly on these parts down here.
Arthur, you're right. So yeah, I think it has to be like that.
No!
Oh, I think it does. So if this doesn't go through this first bit, which it does, then we know it would be wrong. And it doesn't go through the next bit. It needs to be screwed through. So that's how we know that it's right.
Yeah. And it's
That's really fascinating, Daddy.
kind of obvious.
Thanks for telling us all about it. Are you all done over there, Nancy?
Well, yeah, we've done all the little modules.
It's important not to over tighten, it says.
Yeah, they might just all collapse in one piece and that would be bad.
I want to do that.
You want to do one.
I want to do one.
Why doesn't this want to go in the hole?
It does, it just needs, I mean, I struggled with the other one. It needs a little bit of power. So now it's just starting to go.
Okay.
A little bit of strength as it starts to bite. So, 4 feet underneath.
Just screech them in.
Meanwhile, the actual front panel, I've got to bend these bits down at the side. 90 degrees, it says. So this way in.
Kidding me, feet.
You might have to get up.
There we go. Getting pretty good at this feet thing.
Oh yeah.
Certainly watching it doesn't work.
Now I made a plastic jacket.
Not too bad, not too shabby. Now, according to the instructions,
The bending is done.
we need to do the power distribution board, which is this one.
Here.
The screws now come up from the bottom into the little half bits, yeah?
Well, you guys do it now. I don't know what it is.
So, here we go, Nancy. With all of these, they're going to go behind the panel like before, and the screws go in. So it says start with the power distro and work downwards. So if we map them out like this, so that we know which order they're going to go in. So we've got square, saw, sine, mixer. Good job. So these ones we can push up,
No need info.
and then underneath, what happens?
This is info.
They're phone. That's it.
I thought this is info.
There's a filter.
So we've not.
Block your speaker in there. Now, whoa, 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 whoa! Let me tell you which way round they go.
I know this bit goes onto that bit, this bit goes on that bit.
Oh, blooming heck, then off you go. Good job, Arthur.
Anyway,
One more to do.
Store more, yeah. Look, this just slides in.
Then
Well,
you
that's
plug
brilliant.
this into
Very strange.
No, let's not do anything rash, fancy noodle, because you might end up powering something that you don't want to do.
How do you make that noise in the background, though?
Right, so we need to put them in from the top. So you've got them set up here. So let me show you how we're going to do it. So we're going to take the square one, make sure the cable's out of the way. That just, hopefully, I can't make it work. Pops in there because the cable is in the way. There we go.
And then get these screws. Okay, and when it gets start to be kind of tight, is this screw here?
So Arthur, can you start putting the saw one in for me? So yeah, now that you're alright there, Nancy, is that going in okay?
It is making me tight.
So let's lift it up a moment.
But
Yeah. Make sure cables are not getting in the way. This one's trapped. Can we get that out? We can get that bit out.
you could, you might cut the wires.
Might cut the wires. Rats. Give me the, what's it? Thank you. Now I guess the question is, should they be plugged in as we go?
Well, you could.
I suppose, but then is it going to not sit quite
Daddy
so well?
normally does this at night time.
It does what at night time? Oh, I make videos. Well, sometimes, not always.
Sometimes you're filming in the daytime.
Yeah.
You can't go in the garden.
Yeah.
It feels so nice when you put it in. And it works.
There you go. Needed a click.
ENV, VCA, VCA, ENV. What do those stand for?
ENV is envelope. Envelope.
Why
That's just a shortening.
Why do you need an envelope?
Well, an envelope is what shapes the volume of the sound.
Oh. So that's
Do you
for the
remember
ADSR.
That's right, ADSR. Well done, well spotted.
ADSR.
That's what that's about.
And that's like attack, decrease or something.
Nearly.
Attack,
Decay.
decay, release, and
Sustain.
yeah. Like the super main parts of them.
I've got a screw here that I'm waiting to screw
Alright,
in.
alright. Well look, if I can just start them off just by putting these in quickly, then you can finish them off.
This hasn't taken as long.
No, it hasn't.
Not as long.
Probably take us about an hour, the same as the other one did.
No, well, the first one was a bit longer than now. There's a lot of wires that I need to get out the way.
Well look, let's plug the rest of these wires
I
in.
want to plug one in.
Wait a second, let's try to do it in order. So this is the first one, that's the next one. Then that one, Nancy. Put it alongside.
Has to click.
And the white goes at the bottom. That's it, push it in. A little bit further perhaps. There you go, there's the click.
Well, this one.
Then
They all should be long.
that one.
I like the feeling of when it gets to the metal, you just do it a little tiniest bit more. I don't know why. It's very
Daddy, this one
satisfying.
isn't going in.
Let me have a go.
A lot
Right.
of cables.
So finally,
I always
this
said
bit.
I
Now
wanted
we
to
might have
finish it.
we might have messed that up.
What have we
Because
done?
that's the speaker, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that needs to plug in.
You said it went in last.
But it needs to, but it needs to plug into something on the speaker, which is on the other side of this.
Maybe we have to just take out the speaker one.
So
Well, that's no bad thing.
we can unscrew it.
Oh yeah, of course.
That then plugs into there.
Wait, I'm going to put a speaker in because I really want it to.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Then we can put that back in. Okay, So that then has to plug into there.
So can you lift it a little?
And that, I think, it's a bit kind of flappy all the way around there, but that is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Now I think with this one, the rubber band doesn't seem quite so necessary because there's nothing actually to attach it onto. So that goes through our little hole here. Right, so pass us the thing.
Oh, this is heavy.
Yeah. Alright, well done.
Oh, there's massive.
So this, I mean on the power distribution thing, I think it just plugs into one of the power sockets. I don't think it's any more complicated than that. At least I don't think so. So that, plug it into there. And then this. With all these terribly untidy cables.
Somehow just goes in there.
Just goes in there. Just calm these down a little bit.
Daddy, I'll get you. Look, you've got one first.
Okay.
Okay.
And all the cables, they just get stuffed behind. Just stuff them behind, that's fine. You need to give it, let go. You need to give it a little bit more welly.
Once we've got this, put all these screws in, we can try and get some sound out of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
in position now.
we need to put the knobs in. Can we do that? Now, there's something I want to tell you about these before you put them all in.
Yeah.
Are you listening?
Yes.
It's got each one of these has a little nick on it. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Now that needs to go at the 7 o'clock position. So what you do is you push into here, you turn it, don't push it in hard, you turn it till it can't go any more to the left. And you take this out, have a look, 7 o'clock is about there. So that the cross is like that. Do you know what I mean? And then push it in. So with all of those ones, Nancy, you might have to try doing those again.
I can't push that in further.
Alright, just so that it's in.
Okay.
In fact, let me go round and make them all the way round. That might help, mightn't it? Then you can put them in. So let's see if we can work out how to turn the thing on. On this side, like that.
Yay! It came
Now, there
on.
was a light. I saw a light. There's definitely a light
And also there's one flashing here.
flashing there. That's good. So give me a cable.
I'm going to put it
No,
first.
shut up. So I'm going to take an output from the sawtooth one, stick it straight into the speaker. Let's try the square wave.
Cool.
Awesome. There's one. There you go. So Nancy, why don't you try to make this one, Corpus Sequentia. So do you see all the cables? Do you reckon you can put that together? So how are you doing, Nancy? That's it. That's it. So there you have it, the build of the Pocket Operator Modular 400. Not too bad. Took about an hour or thereabouts, a little bit of fiddling around. The screws are small, of course, but it all came together relatively well. It was an easier build than the 170 because we'd kind of got the hang of the manual by this time and understood where things were and how it generally got put together. So would I recommend them as a bit of a family building project for a rainy Sunday afternoon? Then yeah, I think I would. I think that was fun. I mean, you need to keep your wits about you. You need to focus and keep people interested, I suppose, in all of the little screws that need to go in and other bits and pieces. The bending, of course, is the trickiest bit, particularly when you start having edges that you're bending which are next to places where holes are, where it's also going to be weak. And so, yeah, it takes a little bit of pushing, a little bit of determination and courage, I suppose, to really push it through. But otherwise, it's a fun thing with a pretty fun result that you get out the other end because you get sound out. You've just built a synthesizer. I mean, it's got to be quite fun, even for kids, I would have thought. So yeah, that'll do. I think you'll find my full review of the POM 400 in the channel, either soon or now, depending on when you're watching this. And I have to say, this whole thing continues to fascinate me because I've been talking about it online, I've been sharing videos of this and other bits and pieces, and it's really interesting how divisive it is, how it splits opinion. There seems to be a large chunk of people who really do not like it and refuse to be entertained by the idea that it might be interesting. And that's quite fascinating. So do go and check out my review where I'm going to dig into absolutely what is wrong with it. And also why it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of pleasure, it's quirky, it's playful, and it's something definitely worth thinking about. And in the meantime, go make some tunes.